Pacific Voyager.
Bulla, you see that stone? That's our execution stone. What happened in those days, there were no prison. So if you commit a crime, you rest your chin on the stone. You use a club, they bang the back of your head with the club, they put you in a pot, they make one big soup. So you gang better behave.
Kava ceremony was very cool. I don't want to go home.
Discover the islands. If there's an adventure in your soul, Fiji is the place to indulge in. The Fiji Islands in the South Pacific are an archipelago of over 333 islands, packed with attractions that can be found nowhere else and offers a unique experiential opportunity for the visitor. Whether you seek romance, relaxation, cultural immersion, cruising the sea, or the ultimate ecotourism escapade, you'll find fulfillment here. A nature lover's delight, Fiji has an unspoiled, unique environment of extreme beauty and tranquility. Adrift for millennia in splendid isolation in the blue of the South Pacific, it has escaped the evils of industrial progress, the incursions of dangerous animals, poisonous snakes, spiders, and pestilent diseases such as malaria. It awaits your discovery. Fiji's 333 islands and atolls are the epitome of a South Pacific paradise, with sunshine, palm-lined beaches, and sparkling lagoons fringed with coral reefs. Situated 2,100 kilometers north of Auckland, New Zealand, Fiji has become a major crossroad for both shipping and air travel across the Pacific, and it boasts one of the region's best visitor infrastructures. Fiji's islands are mainly volcanic, with some smaller coral or limestone atolls. The Islands of Fiji. Our 333 islands can sizzle with excitement or murmur with the quiet calm of pristine nature. Where else can you swim with huge, harmless manta rays congregating by the shore, snorkel over giant rainbow gardens of soft coral, or scuba dive the white wall and famous Astrolabe Reef? Fiji is where the Cloudbreaker, the incredible 6-meter wave found offshore at Tavarua, draws surfers from across the world. It is also where you can float in the calm, quiet waters of a turquoise lagoon at sunset, or walk alone through lush rainforest. It is where the sun shines almost every day, and when it does rain, people rush outside for a rain bath in the warm, brief downpour of a tropical shower, which ends as quickly as it began. This is where life is lived for the joy of it all, where rushing is rude, and the name of a new friend is never forgotten. Fiji is where people wear flowers tucked in their hair, not to impress the visitors, but because they like to. People and government. The Fijians are a dark-skinned people of Melanesian origin and predominate mainly in the Western Islands. They account for nearly half the population. The indigenous people of the Eastern Islands are largely Polynesian. Indians, who mainly came from 1879 to 1916 as indentured workers for the British, make up less than half the population. Many left after the 1987 coup, and are engaged chiefly in the sugar industry and commerce. There are also small groups of Europeans, Chinese, and Micronesians. The native Fijians are mainly Christian. The Indians are about 3/4 Hindu and 1/4 Muslim. The official language is Fijian, but English and Hindi are also spoken. A majority of Fiji Indians are the descendants of the indentured laborer who were brought to Fiji as contract workers to develop the colonial sugar economy. The Indians came from different regions, spoke different dialects, and practiced different customs and religions. After coming to Fiji, the Indians were constantly rebelling against the colonial system, which regulated social discourse on the plantation through a draconian immigration ordinance. European overseers and the colonial judiciary. In the end, the indenture experience created a culture of rebellion among the Indians and their siblings, the Indo-Fijians. The decision by the Gramityas to stay in Fiji after the end of the indenture ushered in a new era of physical presence of Indians, who became a significant part of Fiji's demographic and socio-economic life. This is Fiji's Indo-Fijian fact. Cities and towns. Fiji has quaint towns and colorful marketplaces. It is the blend of the old and new, with a charm that has vanished from other places. It is the capital of Suva, with its mixture of colonial-era architecture and modern skyscrapers, or the original capital Levuka, where the main street facade has not changed in 100 years. The Melanesians presumably arrived with Lapita-styled pottery in the islands over 3,000 years ago. The first Europeans to visit Fiji were the Dutch navigator Abel Tasman in 1643 and British captain James Cook in 1774. In the early 1800s, the first European settlement was established at Levuka, which became an important whaling port in the mid-1800s. Outer Islands. Although there are more than 333 islands in the Fiji Islands, few are inhabited. Fiji's islands have something to offer the curious visitor for searching for an isolated spot or true adventure. One such island is Ovalau, home of Fiji's old capital, Levuka. Another distant attraction is the Lau group of 57 islands that lie midway between Fiji and Tonga. This is the most isolated of the Fijian islands, with little tourism development. A back-to-nature experience for the most adventurous. Levuka. A Fijian national government, with a tribal chief as king, was established in Levuka in 1871. But in 1874, at the request of Fiji's tribal chiefs, Great Britain annexed the islands. The capital was moved to Suva in 1882. During the World War II, the islands were an important supply point. Historical walks, a colorful history, and an interesting museum make Levuka a trip back in time. Located in Ovalau, it was established as a whaling settlement and soon became a center for Pacific trading. It was also the capital of Fiji prior to Suva. The church, school, cottages, hotel, and shop buildings hark back to the colonial past. Levuka is a town on the southeast coast of the Fijian island of Ovalau, in Lomaviti province in the eastern division of Fiji, of which it is the capital. At the census in UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, at the northern end of Levuka is the traditional Fijian village of Levuka. The village chief, who bears the title of Tui Levuka, is a direct descendant of the chief who welcomed the first European settlers. In memory of his ancestor, he is also known as Tamana na Vavalagi, father of the Europeans. At the southern end of the town lies the village of Nasova, where the king Seru Epenisa Kakobau signed the deed of cession, ceding the islands to the United Kingdom on the 10th of October in 1874. The Levuka Community Center, which houses a branch of Fiji Museum, a public library, craft center, kindergarten, squash court, and meeting hall, occupies a renovated store built in 1878 by Morris Hedstrom and Company, a trading company established in Levuka's early days and is still in business in Fiji. Morris Hedstrom gave the building to the National Trust of Fiji in 1980. Adjacent to the Levuka Community Center stands Queen's Wharf, with a maximum depth of 8 meters. Upgraded in the 1990s, it is used mostly by local watercrafts, though foreign vessels sometimes dock. Levuka is one of 3 official ports of entry to Fiji, Suva and Lautoka being the other 2. Other well-known landmarks include Sacred Heart Church, a legacy of the Marist Fathers who arrived in 1858, the Ovalau Club, one of the oldest social organizations in the Pacific, and Levuka Town Hall, which houses the Levuka Town Council. It was built in 1898 in honor of Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. The modern town of Levuka was founded around 1820 by European settlers and traders as the first modern town in the Fiji Islands, and became an important port and trading post. A disparate band of settlers made up Levuka's population: traders, missionaries, shipwrights, speculators, and vagabonds, as well as respectable businessmen. After Fiji was annexed as a British colony in 1874, Levuka remained the capital until 1877, when the administration was moved to Suva. Although the move was not made official until 1882, the move was prompted by concerns that the 600-meter high cliffs surrounding Levuka gave it no room for expansion. Levuka Museum by Linda Bawa.
Bula Vinaka, I'm Lydia Bawa, and we are inside the Levuka Community Center. It houses a library, a museum, a hall, a Levuka kindergarten, a gym, and a squash court. Showcase number 1 shows photos of heroes that took part in World War I and gears that were used in World War I. Here we see a helmet and a gas mask that was issued to soldiers during World War I. Our next showcase shows us clubs that were used in the olden days. Here we have a club that was donated by Victor and Karel Bell. We have a breadfruit scraper. This is used for scraping breadfruit in the olden days. And a fruit god, or a water vessel that was used before to carry water. We have a tambua that was donated to the Levuka Historical and Cultural Society by Leonard Fraser on behalf of his father, late Mr. Fraser, on January 14, to the chairman, Mr. Bhupendra Kumar, and members of the Levuka Historical and Cultural Society Committee. In this showcase, we have some pictures of the signing of the deed of cession at Nausori on the 10th of October 1874. Some of the representatives that were present during the signing of the deed of cession were Sir Hercules Robinson, Mr. Watson, Minister for Native Affairs, G.A. Woods, Sir Charles, Commodore Goodenough, Mr. Thurston, and definitely Ratu Seruda Kumbau. Here we have the government office at Nausori and the seal of the Levuka Municipal Council. We have bowls from the leper colony that was used at Makungai by the lepers, and we have a cloth that is mainly used to clean the bowl before playing, and the cloth was donated by Gary Oster from New Zealand. This showcase, it displays some hardware tools that were used by Mr. George Patterson back in the olden days, and the artifacts at the background, it shows Mission Hill back in 1895 and the hurricanes of 1888 and 1895, which destroyed much of pre-colonial Levuka. This showcase shows officers and men of the Siedla taken on a ship, and it shows a ship being destroyed by the Siedla. The Siedla was a ship, or it was known as the Sea Eagle. However, the Siedla was not at the bottom of the Atlantic as reported. It was on a sporting mission in the Pacific, and her captain, along with 5 of the crew, was already in Suva jail, captured by the police. And here we have bottles which were found by divers from a wreck of the ship of Levuka harbor. Here we see part of Joita. As you know, Joita was a ship that was found drifting and awash north of Vanuatu, and no trace of the 25 passengers that were aboard and crew has been found. So it's still a mystery. Stavord Whippy was a Yankee ship deserter upon whose steady, sensible nature a tiny trading center was established in the 1830s. Here we see Levuka in the 1850s. Levuka still looked like a Fijian town with its cannons and long rifles used by a small traders community. It helped to blockade a war-torn bow and had become a force to be reckoned with in Fiji politics. Here we have chemist bottles. It was found by divers of Levuka harbor, and these stones they called Matauvatu in Fijian. These are stones edges with which Fijian woodworking was done, including shell tools, until trading with Europeans and Americans began in the 1800s. Here we have a printing press machine. It was used in the olden days to publish newspapers, and it published the first newspapers in Levuka, and here's a copy of the first newspaper that was printed here in Levuka.
Levuka has its own little airport, and there is a daily flight from Suva to Levuka. It is a great little experience on the plane, which costs about Fijian $60. The 10-minute ride can be fully enjoyed when the weather is good. Make sure you bring your raincoat when visiting the eastern part of Fiji. Nausori. Nausori was incorporated as a town in 1931 and is governed by a 12-member town council, elected for a 3-year term. At the last municipal election, held on the 22nd of October in 2005, all seats were won by the Ratepayers Association. Nausori is a town in Fiji. It had a population of 21,645 at the census, the last to date. Situated 19 kilometers out of Suva, it forms one pole of the burgeoning Suva-Nausori corridor. Nausori grew up around Fiji's second sugar mill, which functioned between 1881 and 1959. The Rewa rice mill is now located there, as is the airport serving the capital. Demographics of Suva. Suva is a multiracial and multicultural city. Indigenous Fijians and Indo-Fijians, the 2 principal ethnic groups of Fiji, comprise the bulk of Suva's population. But the city is also home to the majority of Fiji's ethnic minority populations, which include Caucasians and Chinese, among others. The majority of expatriates working in Fiji are also based in Suva. The most widely spoken language is English, but Fijian, Hindu-Astani, and other Indian language are also spoken by their respective communities. Suva fast facts. Population, 200,000. Area. Suva is located on the southeast corner of Viti Levu. Climate. Wet season, November to April. Temperatures average 31 Celsius maximum and 22 Celsius minimum. Dry season, May to October. Temperatures average 29 Celsius maximum and 19 Celsius minimum. Major attractions: Fiji Museum, Thurston Gardens, Government House, Municipal Markets, Cumming Street, Old Town Hall, Albert Park, Orchid Island Cultural Center, church services, guided tours, Pololi Suva Rainforest Park. Suva. Suva, the capital of Fiji, was developed in the late 1800s and retains much of the character of the colonial period. Its many attractions include shopping, restaurants, nightclubs, market, a museum, and sightseeing tours. Suva, located in the heart of Suva's botanical gardens, the Fiji Museum holds a remarkable collection which includes archaeological material dating back to 3,700 years and cultural objects representing both Fiji's indigenous inhabitants and other communities that have settled in the island group over the past 100 years. Suva's sites include fine colonial buildings, the Roman Catholic Cathedral, 1902, the impressive government buildings, rusting shipwrecks on the reef, the old cemetery with its Chinese area, the bustling city market, and the adjacent fish market. A significant part of the city center, including the old parliament buildings, is built on reclaimed mangrove swamp. Suva is noted for its considerable rainfall. Although it is not as wet as Pohnpei, the capital of the federal state of Micronesia, it has a markedly higher rainfall than Nadi and the western side of Viti Levuka, which is known to Suva citizens as the Burning West. Landmarks. Fiji's tallest building, Suva Central, has been recently completed and stands 24.6 meters, which is 81 feet taller than the Reserve Bank of Fiji building. Suva Central is currently the tallest building in the Pacific Islands region and is located near the Old Morris Hedstrom store. Another well-known landmark is the Suva City Library, built in 1909 and financed by the Scottish-American steel tycoon Andrew Carnegie. Next to Suva City Library is Suva Swimming Pool. The city's giant outdoor Olympic swimming pool is a great place for a cooling swim on a hot day. Shopping, arts, and crafts in Suva. Marks and Cumming Streets are the center of town and feature small independent traders. Clothing in Suva is an absolute bargain and can be made to measure, often overnight, from one of the city's tailors. Situated near the waterfront, Suva's Handicraft Market is a bustling, colorful trading post for handicrafts and other products from throughout the Fiji Islands. Crafts include traditional woven baskets and mats, jewelry, souvenirs, and wooden bowls and dishes. Guards. Right next to Thurston Gardens is the President's House, which is guarded by very special guards. If you catch them when they are changing shifts, you will be delighted.
Yes, no problem.
Nessis. This place houses some of the city's rich families, and also it is very famous with joggers and runners. Suva Point is a well-known spot for viewing sunrise and sunset. Fishing and a host of other activities await the visitor. Yachting. Suva hosts a Hobbycat 16 fleet based at the new National Sailing Center at Beach Road, Suva Point, and Lautoka Bay. Arrange for a ride for the weekend fleet racing or a fun sail. Surfing. You can travel by boat to the surf break near Suva Lighthouse. Sunday is one day that all of Suva City comes to Suva Point to spend time with family, friends, and loved ones. Right across from Suva Point is Nakula Island. It holds the whole history of the Fiji Islands. This island once was used for quarantine people arriving from India. People spend their time fishing, playing soccer on the beach, and also you will find local fishermen fishing the sea. Sandbank. Just a few miles from Suva Point is a small island called Sandbank, where people come to enjoy their afternoon fishing. Tourists and windsurfers who come to visit Suva find this island special because they are able to stop for breaks here and spend a lot of time on it. Suva Islands. Also, you can take a boat ride on the sea that should cost about Fijian $50. You can spend the whole day watching activities on the sea or looking out at the small villages along the shorelines. Fiji also has one of the oldest churches built in 1902, and the only access to it is by boat. It was used by the British who settled on the island during the colonial days. Its remote location prevented anyone from visiting or attending church for years, but now there is a regular boat trip up and down the shores. Spending an hour here is like going back to the olden days. Whenever visiting, please show respect to the chief or whoever is in charge. Donations are accepted like gifts, so give them Fiji $5 and you just might be invited for Yokona ceremonies with the chief. Places to stay. Holiday Inn Suva, ideally located downtown Suva with Suva Harbor views. A great meeting place for the local corporate government and expatriate community. The contemporary new look is refreshing. East of the Vidi Levu and 3 hours or 200 kilometers drive from Nadi International Airport and 20-minute drive or 20 kilometers from Nausori Airport. Dining. Holiday Inn Suva offers dining options even for the discerning palate with a 24-hour room service. Tapa bar lounge menu, poolside menu, and dining in Victoria's restaurant, a designated non-smoking area. The Tapa Lounge is also a designated non-smoking area. Price range. Mid-range accommodation, Fiji $70 to Fiji $300. Operator size, medium, 51 to 150 rooms. Lami is an urban area in Rewa Province, Fiji, northwest of Suva. It was formally incorporated as a town in 1977 and had a population of 18,918 at the last census. Just out, Lami is Fiji's Orchid Island. To learn more about Fijian history and culture, one must visit Orchid Island.
Bula, you see that stone? That's our execution stone. What happened in those days, there were no prison. So if you commit a crime, you rest your chin on the stone. You use a club, they bang the back of your head with the club, they put you in a pot, they make one big soup. So you gang better behave.
Can we ask you?
Friends, you see this is our temple. Before Christianity, they built temples to worship spirits. So these are the type of temple that they built. Before putting the two main posts in the center, they dig a hole. They put live men in each hole and they put the post on the top. There's none there, but they used to. They did that is to sacrifice to the spirits or to make the spirits happy. You see those white tiny shells on the walls? they represent finger of a chief's wife. When a chief dies, his wife is ordered to cut a finger off. And if she disagrees, they'll bury her alive with the chief, or they'll strangle her to death. High at the top of the temple, they say you're closer to God. You see, there's a piece of cloth that falls halfway behind this post. They say when you have problems, especially to us men, if our wife runs away from us or someone does bad to you, you go behind that post, you whisper up your problems. The echo of your voice travels up. You go to that post, he answers you back. And in building temples or houses like this in the olden days, there were no nails. There is coconut senet in tying all the posts together. Today you walk into villages, no temples, but you see churches. Everybody has changed from cannibalism to Christianity. We have 3 temples throughout the country. This is the only temple we allow visitors to enter. The other 2, they don't use it, but they keep it as a sacred. This wooden drum, you know this lolly, yeah? That's what is in our villages today for church bells, also in school for school bells. This is all hand weaved around the post, and the walls are made from bush reeds. You think that's pretty? Beautiful, eh?
Nice.
Yeah. We always tell our visitors these are all sleeping hibiscus, the pink and the red.
It's all sleeping.
Yeah, they do wake up, but they take time to wake up, so they're on Fiji time. You see holes in the ground? No, kuka, gari, mud crabs, eh? They come out at night, that's why there's holes in the ground. That's our chief's bed. That's his pillow. Oh. See? Chief's bed is pillow. This is all the 100 years old clubs. Oh. That's for twisting your neck to death. See, Next top is in the pot. Nothing's wasted here. That's his plate. That's his knife. That's his bowl there. Oh. See? This is a chief's drinking vessel. That's what we have in our dollar coin, Sangamoli.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
That's the picture of that. This is for pounding the grukava. Yeah, Nangona. That's for storing salt water. Because in the olden days there were no containers or bottles, so there's coconut shells. Ladies go to deep sea to get salt water. It's kept in here. Couple of days the water evaporates. Dry salt is left, which they use for food. Kitchen for cooking, fishing net, that's for catching eels, balm. This is spear for fighting here. See, that already killed a person because they break one off. Oh. Had they kill 4 with it, they break the whole lot off, but they keep the handle for story. Today we use mobiles, but in the olden days there's a conch shell. People in the village hear the sound of this, they know it's meeting time. Yeah, coming across to the island. So that's the village part and this is the island part, so that's why you're crossing the bridge. Yeah. See, that's our turtle pond, friends. And we had 6 turtles, they all got floated away. See, now there's 2 new ones. There's one, they're probably underneath the bridge.
Oh, they still inside?
Yes.
Oh, good.
See, the tide's going out, the pond will be dry. When it's high tide, the fresh tide comes in. Oh. See, that's white shell ginger. It opens up to a flower. White shell ginger. That's yellow exora. This plant, when it flowers, we call it yesterday, today, and tomorrow. 3 colors in one plant. Purplish, light purplish, and white. That purple there, Thumbergia. Trilitzia. And this is called bird of paradise here. That's orchids here. And at the back there, that's umbrella tree, bleeding heart. Anthuriums. And this is called self-peeling banana, See, this is another type of bird of paradise here. This is sago palm. That's what the leaves that we use for the roof. You see all the roof? You see these hibiscus? They only last for a day. They only last for 1 day. Come. That's peace lily. Yeah, see this? This is what we use for flower arrangement.
Yeah, arrangement.
And they're flexible. And this is what we do to it. You see like this. See? See, that's another type of bird of paradise here.
Oh yeah, very nice. This one.
Oh, shit. No, it's down there. Very fresh. See the sago palm I was telling you? See how it's all stitched together?
Oh.
Yeah. That's vanilla. You know, vanilla essence, vanilla vine.
vanilla, yeah.
Yeah, it's the seeds.
Oh, the seeds.
Yeah, the pods come out. And on a coffee, Fiji coffee tree here. But in coffee plantation, you know, they cut the trees to keep them short, eh? But we let it grow just to show people what it looks like. Coffee. And those yellow pods, that's cocoa. That's what they make chocolate from there. See those ripe ones?
Oh.
Yeah, cocoa pods, see? Palm. Okay, this is Watu Sukuna, a very high chief of Fiji. He did a lot for the country. He went abroad for education, Oxford University. He came back home and he taught our people about the outside modern world. He was the one introduced the Zulus that we now wear. This is a replica of a Scottish kilt. But mind you, we wear underwear. Knighted by Queen Elizabeth II, he established a native land trust board, first Speaker of the House of Representatives, and he died in the ship Arcadia. On his way to the UK in 1958, he died of heart attack at the age of 70. Last cannibal in 1894, he's from Levuka, the last cannibal. He's from Levuka.
What's his name?
His name is, I think his name was Pola or something, Ratapola. That's the chief of Ra, Unre. He ate 99 people.
99.
Okay, gang, from here, this is your own time. That's our old clubs, you take your photos, and in front there's our migration map, eh? Hanging heliconia, crab claws, or bird's beak. It's a mongoose, you see? Needle, lots of Indian, their native home is India. Come and hold. See, just hands, no, just open up your hands. It'll sit. It's a Pacific boa constrictor. And it feeds on minor birds. That's what it eats. Well, that's all we have for you. And I hope you've enjoyed that.
Yeah, really enjoyed.
The Coral Coast. The Coral Coast is well known for its scuba diving and offers professional facilities to all levels. Along the southern coast of Viti Levu, from the time it encounters the sea, near the Shangri-La's Fijian resort, to near Pacific Harbor, this is a stretch known as the Coral Coast. It is well known for its resorts and sandy beaches. Sigatoka, on the edge of the Sigatoka River, at the western end of the highway, is the main town. Some of Fiji's oldest historic sites are accessible along the Coral Coast. The Coral Coast begins at Momi, approximately 20 kilometers south of Nadi. The paved highway meanders through spectacular scenery featuring Fijian villages, sugarcane fields, coral lagoons, and beaches. Sigatoka is a town in Fiji. It is situated at the mouth of the Sigatoka River, after which it is named, some 69 kilometers from Nadi. At the census, the last held, it had a population of 7,940. An ornate mosque dominates the Sigatoka skyline. Major tourist attractions include the sand dunes near Kulu Kulu village, 2 kilometers south of Sigatoka, and the Kulu Bird Park, which houses some 500 birds of 100 species from many tropical countries. Sigatoka was incorporated as a town in 1959 and is governed by a 10-member Sigatoka Town Council, elected for a 3-year term. Surfing. Fiji is well known for its fine reef breaks. Fregat's Pass is the most famous surf spot accessible from the Coral Coast, with a world-class left-hand barrel. The Waidroka Bay Resort provides boat transfers to Fregat's Pass, as well as other reef breaks along this stretch of coast. Sigatoka has a beach break for less experienced surfers. Fishing. All types of fishing are available with occasional village fish drives, where the fish are netted in shallow water. Rafting. Billy rafting, rafts made from bamboo, is a popular day trip and may include a village visit at Sigatoka Cave exploration. Most of the resorts have mountain bikes and internet available. The inland roads are challenging and caution should be exercised. Beach activities. All the Coral Coast has access to a beach, sometimes tidal with swimming, water sports, snorkeling, reef walking, and horse riding is also available. Island visits. Day visits can be taken to the Mamanuca Islands or to Robinson Crusoe Island off the southwestern coast. Looking for Coral Coast accommodation? Here you'll find a wide range of Coral Coast accommodation catering to all tastes and budgets. Sandy Point Beach Cottages. Unobstructed views up and down the Coral Coast. Self-contained cottages. Private 1- and 2-bedroom accommodation. Sleep 3 to 5 with full facilities. Set in beautiful grounds, each fully serviced cottage is your home away from home. Located in Korotogo on the Coral Coast, 55 minutes from Nadi Airport, Sandy Point looks out over the barrier reef to the beautiful South Pacific. 5 restaurants within walking distance, freshwater swimming pool, each cottage provided with a barbecue, snorkeling, and beach walks.
Hola. Hi, my name's Elise. I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
Carly Chamberlain from Massachusetts.
Yeah. What do you like about Fiji?
I don't know, the people are all really nice and easy to get to know.
I love the beaches. I love people helping people, the attitude, the culture. Everyone's really nice here. They seem to just want to help each other out. It's all one big family. I've talked to a couple people that live here, and all they want to do is help you out. I've gotten free rides to the town from people just wanting to help out. I've gotten advice on what to do from people, and it just seems really like a really tight community.
My name is Courtney. We're both studying Fijian. I'm studying Matanimbao, and she's studying Lauan.
Want to get back?
I'm moving to Fiji. I'm out of Massachusetts.
Perfect. And so how long have you been here?
I've been here for 4 days, and I have to leave in 2, so I'm not too happy about it.
So you are only here in Sigatoka, or have you visited other cities yet?
I've actually just stayed here, and it's been really nice. It's really relaxed. There's not much going on. There's not much noise, not much, and it's exactly what I wanted in a vacation.
And Fiji time, definitely is nice.
What is one thing you like about Fiji? Just one thing.
One thing is the relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah.
Awya baki rua sangavulu ka ndua.
And it means?
It means I'm 21.
Kava ceremony was very cool.
Yeah.
Kava was a very unique thing to try. I would suggest trying it if you're staying in Fiji.
Nadi. As Fiji's airport town, Nadi is where most visitors hear their first bula, the colorful marketplace, located only a few minutes' drive from the airport. Features Yokona stalls, homemade souvenirs, and local culture. Nadi is also the gateway to the Mamanuca group, where leisurely options include layback surfer camps and exclusive hideaways. Nadi is also the gateway to the Mamanuca group, where leisurely options include layback surfer camps and exclusive hideaways. Nadi offshore. Mamanuca Yasawas. Set among deep blue waters with fringing coral reefs of turquoise and pastel green, the Mamanuca Islands and the islands of Nadi Bay offer tourists some of Fiji's most outstanding island beauty. Home to a range of resorts that are as different as they are unique, the Yasawa Islands largely contains backpacker resorts with a number of 5-star properties as well. The Sunshine Coast, Lautoka, Raki Raki. Lautoka is known as the Sugar City because of its cane belt areas. The main Lautoka sugar mill is the city's biggest employer by far. Built for the Colonial Sugar Refining Company, CSR, by imported laborers from India and Solomon Islands between 1899 and 1903, it hires some 1,333 employees today. Other industries include timber milling, garment manufacturing, distillery, brewery, jewelry blending, steelworks, fishing, hatchery, domestic items, paints, and construction. History. The name of the city is derived from 2 Fijian words meaning spearhead. According to an oral tradition, the name arose following a duel between 2 chiefs. As one speared the other, he was reported to have cried, "Lautoka!" Lautoka is the second largest city of Fiji. It is in the west of the island of Viti Levu, 24 kilometers north of Nadi, and is capital of the Western Division of Fiji. Covering an area of 1,607 square kilometers, it had a population of 42,917 at the census, the last held to date. The area from Lautoka to Bhan on the northwestern coast of Viti Levu is Fiji's Sunshine Coast. This is Fiji's sugar belt and a prime reef area. It is also known for gold from Vatukola and plantations of Caribbean pine trees. Traveling along the west coast, there are some nice views and also some interesting things to see. In some places, horses are still being used for transportation, so don't be surprised. Raki Raki. The rugged north coast is known as the Sunshine Coast for its relatively dry climate. This mountainous region around Raki Raki is home to the world-renowned Fiji water. Visits to the Fiji water plant can be arranged beforehand. The coastline in the north has many motels along the road and some of the best views. Ra is one of the 14 provinces of Fiji. Occupying the northern area of Viti Levu, the largest island, it is one of 8 Viti Levu-based provinces. With a land area of 1,341 square kilometers, it had a population of 30,904 at the last census to date. The main urban center is at Levuka, with a population of 3,361 in Viti Levu. Karavu and Tavanu are the best places to see some of Fiji's 80 species of land and freshwater birds. The larger birds are easily seen on the main islands, which tend to be more ecologically intact. 22 of the land bird species are endemic. Look out for red and green Kula lorikeets, which can be seen collecting nectar and pollen in populated areas. The Kolo I Suva Forest Park in the hills north of Suva is a great place for bird watchers. Transportation. Fiji has bus services, taxi, ferry services, seaplane, and helicopter services, rental car companies, 2 domestic airlines, Sun Air and Air Fiji, which provide efficient services and make getting around Fiji a breeze. Inbound tour operators can provide custom transport services. The open-air buses are a unique way to travel, providing for some interesting holiday experience and also give you a chance to observe Fiji up close. Communications. There are over 1,500 public phone booths, DRUA, around the country and can be used by purchasing a telecard. Telecard can also be used on any landline phone to make calls. Leading hotels and resorts offer universal outlets for 240 volts or 110 volt shavers, hair dryers, etc. Internet services. Most hotels and resorts are equipped with internet services, as well as other private internet cafes, which can be readily found in most towns and cities. Dial-up connection is common in Fiji, but the use of high-speed broadband has increased. Postal services. Post Fiji Limited, wholly owned by the Fiji government, is Fiji's postal service provider serving Fiji Islanders through an extensive network of 293 outlets, comprising of post offices and postal agencies. Fiji is free from malaria, yellow fever, and major tropical diseases that are endemic to most tropical countries. Yellow fever and cholera vaccinations are required only for those arriving from infected areas. Fiji Fast Facts. Population 775,077. Climate. Wet season, November to April, temperatures between 22 and 31 degrees Celsius. Dry season, May to October, temperatures between 19 and 29 Celsius. Major attractions, Nadi, Mamanuca and Yasawa Islands, Coral Coast, Pacific Harbor, Vanua Levu, and Tavuni. Sunshine Coast, Suva, Kadavu Island, driving and snorkeling, cruising, eco-tours, and surfing. Arrival and departure. Fiji welcomes visitors, and to facilitate easy entry, everything has been done to make the process as pleasant as possible. A valid passport for at least 3 months beyond the intended period of stay, and a ticket for return or onward travel to another country, which he/she is authorized to enter, is required. Nadi Airport shopping is duty-free. If you are busy discovering Fiji and forgot to buy souvenirs, don't worry. You can always buy at Nadu Airport's duty-free shop and take it home with you. There is a wide variety of things to see and buy here, like local paintings, Fiji water, books, gifts, and so on. Trust me, your money will be well spent. That's all for you for now, and have a safe trip. Ula Vanaka.
Manaka